Dr. STM, what can I do? I feel like I'm in a cage. I want to diversify. I want to do something else beyond clinic, or I want to combine it with clinic. How did you do it? How did you leave the clinics and you still survived in terms of bills, money? I am lost of clues and I just don't know what else to do beyond medical practice. Hey guys, this is Dr. STM and welcome to my YouTube channel once more. Today I'll be talking to you about the alternative careers for medical doctors, and you bet I curated them well in a way that will be easy for you to remember. And even if what you may eventually do is outside my list, it will at least guide you or inspire you on possible things to do. Today, all those what will I do, how can I do it, and the rest will end. Welcome back to the YouTube channel, and if you're new to my YouTube channel, you're welcome. Please do well to subscribe and turn on the notifications because I drop videos on health, tech, career, lifestyle, and you're sure gonna love it. See you when we get there. So we are going to talk about the alternative careers for medical doctors, and of course I had to put in the beautiful lady smiling over there as your sample medical doctor today. So this lady is thinking about beyond going to clinic and seeing patients, and in a regular slang, anecteric, febrile, not fail. Beyond that, what else can she do, at least as some alternative means of income that is still viable for her? So I decided to divide these options into two. You have options within the health industry, and then you have things within other industries. So for this particular video, everything I'll be talking about is mainly within the health industry, because within other industries, you just can do as far as you wish to go. You can go into farming, intensive farming, you can go into entertainment, you can go into banking and finance. As far as wide as you can think of, you dream of whatever you want to do, you can go there. So I try to make this focused within the health industry so that it will be streamlined to what you already know. How can you make impacts within the health industry on people's health without sitting in the clinic or getting to interact with patients in the hospital? Then again, when it comes to health industry, I also split it into clinical and non-clinical options. So you may be wondering, what exactly are these two? When it comes to clinical simply means you still have some interactions with patients. So you still get to meet them one way or the other. May not be within the clinic, but you're working directly with the patient. While for non-clinical, you are like an intermediary, so you don't have a direct work with the patient as far as their health is concerned, health decisions are concerned. These are the main two ways I've divided this. So for clinical first. So for clinical, you have concierge medicine. So concierge medicine, in the simplest way of defining it for me, is home medicine. You know what people typically call family medicine, where you go to home, or they call you when they have a need, just in the time they have a need, and you go and attend to them there. Of course, you need some registration or hospital linkages to do this, because at some point the case may be something that cannot be managed via at home, so you may want to transfer the clients, okay, let's say the patient, to the hospital at some point here. So concierge medicine, you're in charge. It's you and your patient direct. You decide where you meet. Then you have telemedicine. Again, telemedicine is just the regular thing, only that technology is now the means of communication. So you're not having a physical contact, direct contact with the person. And many people have raised serious concerns about telemedicine. How about physical examination? How about data security and the rest? So it depends on the infrastructure you're using, the system you're using to consult, and how secured you've set up your system. So remember that when it comes to medical practice, you have to think about confidentiality and privacy. What can be accessed? How do you document your patient's their details, their clinical records. How do you document and store them securely? So you have to think about all these things. What some people do is to register with already existing telemedical companies, while others they just set up their own and take up all the risks and responsibilities that need to be attended to. So if you register with an already existing company, you simply use their infrastructure, for example, their clinic recording document and documentation system, the consultation like video conferencing platform and the rest. Yours is just to show up, set up your consultation charges, and then show up and attend to your patients, and you're good. In more advanced countries, physical examination is also not an issue because that's why this whole metaverse thing is growing up now, because there are robotic gloves that you can use actually to transmit. But all these ones at the point is not well developed in developing countries. In fact, in developed countries, the infrastructure are yet not so popular around. But it's possible to physically examine your patient using robotic infrastructure. Just know this in case you're interested in telemedicine. Until then, you can also arrange it in a way that you've consulted, you've discussed with this client, and you feel that the situation definitely needs a physical examination. So if you partner with some companies, they have physical outlets. If you don't partner, there are some hospitals that give room for physical consultation, so they take some fractions while you keep the remaining. So it's for you to factor these things into your decision if you want to venture into telemedicine. Then you have the lifestyle medicine, people that do consultations on wellness, especially for non-communicable diseases. If you're up to date with trends, statistics, public health trends, you will know that right now in developing countries like Nigeria, we have a double burden of disease. It used to be more of infectious disease. Now we are both battling the infectious and the non-communicable diseases, while some developed nations are just facing just the non-communicable diseases alone. So in Nigeria, lifestyle medicine is really a huge thing, because lifestyle medicine applies more, even though it can help improve the infectious diseases. It also applies more for non-communicable diseases. So think of arthritis, diabetes, hypertension, and the rest. This is simply the use of lifestyle mechanisms to improve the well-being of your patients. So you may be looking at weight management, diet management, exercise, sleep, sexual health, and the rest. So these are the things within lifestyle medicine. And of course, there's a society certification that goes on with it. So if you want to venture into this, I also advise that you have a look into the certification, get certified, learn more about it, and it is really lucrative, and it's something that you will also enjoy doing. Now I'm talking about corporate healthcare provider or wellness program director. So what these people do is to partner with an institution. It can be a school, it can be a company, an organization, a church, and you be their medical provider. So if you've been to a boarding school, a secondary school that have boarding facilities, you will know that at least to some extent they have health facilities. So you can partner with them and be their medical provider, have your timetable with them. You can be doing weekly visits or whatever works well for you and them, and you make your arrangements. So this is really an option. I just gave you an example of school, companies, explore the rest. Then you have the occupation safety officers, which is really in fact, when you ask people in public health about this, they will let you know that this is very lucrative and this is also versatile, because you're not just, in as much as hospital is what we are used to, this particular occupation safety officer can be employed anywhere. And the popular companies that you get to see them, at least within the Nigerian, West African areas, is oil industries. So you get to see them there because there are hazards that are related to that industry. And again, you also see them within the airports. So you have the port officers. I don't know if it's port officers or porter officers that they call them again, but you also get them there. So this is also an option. And if you really want to play big, go and get certified. There's a certification for that one too. Think HSK or something like that. Browse it and you find it. Go and get certified, and you can play big in this particular. You see this domain. Many people are rich in this domain. Those I did not tell you. Then you have the public health physician. Now I placed an asterisk within that because it is 50-50. You have those who are not really working direct with patients, and then you have those who still work direct with patients. So I just had to place it this way. So in case you're thinking about it, public health is one specialty that is quite versatile when it comes to clinical practice. So they may not really be in the hospitals, but they have wide options of where they can work and what they can do. And it's also interesting. All right, then we have those within medical tourism. Somehow people feel, why should we be preaching medical tourism? Is it not a way of degrading your own, maybe your own system? The truth is, today, tomorrow, and whenever, medical tourism will continue to happen. And no matter how good or how poor or how whatever, people have their various reasons for having to make a decision to try medical services in other countries. So when it comes to medical tourism, before they eventually leave the country to try other places, they will require the service of a medical practitioner to examine, to evaluate them, to write reports, in fact, everything that's needed prior to leaving the country, because you have to present those documents both at the immigration stage, having to clear why you're leaving the country, and then at the point of entry to that new country. So all those process of documenting, doing the necessary thing are within the terrain of medical tourism, and their day-to-day services is not like the typical thing you get in regular hospitals. So you may want to also think of this option. And the last is other healthcare professions. So the first that I told someone about this, the person is like, how will I leave being a doctor to something else? And I said, for many people it is an option. I know someone who has left medicine, not interested, and went to study pharmacy. And they are thinking that way because they feel that medicine is superior to other healthcare professions. Whereas we all know that it's a team play when it comes to healthcare delivery. So there are people who have tested the terrains of medical practice, and as far as they are concerned, this is not what they want to do. So they dropped it and move on straight up to try other options within the clinical part of health industry. So they may want to do pharmacy, physiotherapy, nursing. Anyone is their choice. So if you are really interested in clinical, you can try this. And now we have to talk about the non-clinical options. In fact, you have many of them. You have things within different industries. You have those, I had to split it in a way with trend and a way you will understand. So you have opportunities within tech. And then you have opportunities that are hybrid. I will explain this hybrid, and then non-tech. So you have opportunities that are purely tech. So you need to know to have those technical skills to play in those roles. And then you have those that you don't need the technical skill, especially when it comes to things like coding. You just don't need those technical skills, or it must not be coding anyway to play in tech, but whatever technical skill is not needed. You just need other kind of skills to play in those roles. Then you need those that are hybrid, where you have to employ both the technical skills and the regular non-tech skills. So that's how I grouped it. We'll take them one by one, and then we're good. So we start with the non-tech roles. The first non-tech role there is health administration and management, which is really a huge thing. Many people get into this role by going to do their masters or going for some advanced training and then getting a role within such roles, within such place. So you have health administration and management. So it's pretty, this one is self-explanatory, so I don't think I have much to do there. Then you have clinical research, grant writing. So when it comes to clinical research and grant writing, this covers everything within the research terrain. You have people that are really specialized with clinical trials. We have those that work with NGOs to write for grants, and it's not only NGOs that hunt for grants, even schools, universities. So you have people that play roles as research officers, grant writers, just within the clinical research, medical writers and the rest. But I place medical writers separate, but it's just for you to think around this. Their main aim, means of living is within the research industry, and of course they are quite important within the healthcare industry because they help us generate evidence and contemporary ways of doing things based on scientific evidence. So you find out that yes, you may not be seeing patients one-on-one, but you're still being relevant and important to the industry when you're in this role. And then you have the non-profit leadership. So these are people playing majorly within the NGO roles, either as the founders or program managers or administrative managers and the rest. So these people have decided to go via the non-profit pathway, and either by human capital development or health support, promotion, and the rest. So this is it for non-profit leadership. And then you have again occupational safety officer. So you remember I mentioned it, where you have to deal with patients. There are cases where you really don't have to deal with patients. You just do things like consultation or offering trainings or something like that. So I had to still place it here because you need the knowledge that is not technical to still operate here. And then you have consulting. 3 asterisks. So I place this consulting because to many of us within the health industry, consultant, consultation, consulting, consultancy, anything consult is only left for the medical consultants. Now, if you check the dictionary or any body of knowledge, you understand that consulting is when a specialist offers advice or services in that their special role. So this special role may be that medical role that you know, the surgical role that you know, or any other role. As a matter of fact, you can be a medical consultant to another school. You may be consulting in something like consulting to people who produce medical equipment on things that are quite needed within the medical industry, the medical treatment. So consulting does not mean just within the typical clinical role that you know. Consulting can mean you can choose to consult on medical education. You can choose to consult on research. Maybe you are quite savvy with clinical trials at different phases. You can choose to consult on that. You can choose to consult on managing non-profit leadership. So that is why I place these 3 asterisks on consulting, because it is diverse. It's not just a one thing. Then you have people within education. You have lecturers, you have the CMEs, people that develop CMEs, people that develop online courses and sell. And the beautiful thing about this one is it helps you to also grow along. So of course, many of our lecturers, you know, we are also doing clinical work and still doing and teaching. So education is a wide option. If you don't want to be in the clinics or you don't want to be there all the time, consider education. And then you have the team that work with health insurance executive. So most times it's about investigating claims and assessing if claims are really worth what they claim that is done. And in some cases they may also consult depending on the structure of that insurance company. Then you have writing. So writing is so wide, quite wide. You have the scientific writing and non-scientific writing. Within you also have creative writing. You have people that write textbooks for educational purposes. You have people that write online content, maybe for health promotion. So writing is quite wide. People make a living, huge living out of writing. In fact, some companies look for those who will always write up their health content columns. Even newspapers, they look for people to do these things. So writing is a good one in case you enjoy writing. Then you have people that work with government and regulation. Overall, politics. It must not be direct politics. It could be an appointment role. It can be something else, but of course, you can also explore that option. Some people get to this option by doing their masters in things like health economics, management, and policy. I think there are other different ways. Is some schools have different names for different master's programs. So you can also think of being within the government and regulation aspect of health industry, so that you help in making better policies. And then you have people that do on-air health experts. Majorly, these people, you get them either on radios or televisions, having a session of it, just the way you have your regular TV shows or sessions. Now, this is also the regular radio, TV, or whatever show, but majorly on health talks. That is what this one do. So you can also explore that option, and it's a very lucrative one. And then you have the medical legal services. So if you live in a place where litigation is a real deal, you understand how juicy this is. As juicy as it is also risk, but this is life. There is nothing that is not risky. Decision or no decision, both of them are risks. So when it comes to medical legal services, what you do is you work as a medical witness for medical litigation cases. So assuming there was a case against a particular doctor, they can call you as a medical personnel or medical expert to state what ought to be the right thing to be done in that situation. So you can be witnessing. Your own is to be neutral. You must not pay allegiance to your colleague or to the patient or something. So yes, there are people within the medical legal services. And in case you're also wondering, there is medical law. There is medical, I've forgotten the exact name, like a master's program, if you also want to take it from that aspect. Yes, people go into medical law to study. I'm trying to remember the name. Is it biolegal or something? I've forgotten the name, but there's something like that. You can also explore and check it out if you want to go from there. And the big umbrella of entrepreneurship, which, in fact, I just said is a big umbrella because it is what it is. So entrepreneurship can be about starting your own hospital and leading it. So in that case, you're being an octopus with multiple roles. It can be about selling medical equipment, selling books. Just think of a problem and be the problem solver, and that is it, and build a business around it. So this is it for non-tech roles, and we go to the next, which is the almighty tech role. Everybody wants to be in tech. If you're not ready for tech, better don't come to tech. I keep saying this thing. So let's talk about the tech roles. So you have number one, the medical or health statistics, my area. I think that's one of the reasons I put it first. So when it comes to statistics, what do? Some statisticians work within the research terrain. Some work within the business terrain. Some work within the academic terrain. The most important thing is that you use data. You help your let's say clients this time, to use data to make decisions by applying statistical tests on that data. And that is it. So yours is to go and learn about statistics, learn about reporting, learn about the statistical tests and the different questions they answer and what questions you can answer and what kind of data is needed. In fact, I'm saying all this is because it's something I know, so I don't have to delve through much into it. In case you're interested in statistics, we may have another video on that, or you can even start now to explore more on that. Then data analysis, I had to also shelve it separate because I know that to some, statistics is data analysis is statistics. But sometimes I try to remind people that data is not always analyzed by applying statistical tests, because there are different types of data. If this is a qualitative data, you cannot apply statistical tests to that. And it all depends again on what kind of analysis and information and data you have. So assuming if this is document analysis, those documents that you want to analyze and have investigate and analyze are data, but you don't have to use statistical methods to take care of that. So it's all about what do you want to do, where do you want to play, and then you now check what needs. For example, if you want to play in research industry, you need both the qualitative and quantitative skills, or even one and just specialize there. There are some people that their specialty is qualitative data analysis. They are not good with quantitative. That's this whole statistics thing. And there are people that just do statistics and are not happy with qualitative and the rest. But I just had to put it this way because sometimes name of roles change. So you can also know that some people call it data analysis, some people call it medical health statistics, and then the data science that confuses people. What's the difference between data science and data analysis? I think I'll make a different video for that one. But data science is a different umbrella that is related to data analysis. In most situations, you need to do some background analysis before you can apply your data science. But data science is more of predictions, machine learning, and all those ones. So that's one you must do some coding. And for health informatician, my area. So health informatics is about getting the right information at the right time to the right people for the right purpose. It's about health information, managing health information, using health information. In fact, generate that information, manage it, and use it for the right purpose. That is what health information is all about. And it applies both big data, Internet of Things, Web 3.0, 3.2.0, artificial intelligence, everything about health information technology within health, using it to improve health. It is under health informatics. And then there are many other ways of managing health information. Then you have software development. I mean, the name is straightforward. These people specialize in developing software because we are talking about within the health industry. So these are software that help within the health industry. So it may be helpful to the healthcare professionals, it may be helpful to the patients, but whichever way, you are the person helping us develop this software. Then you have those within the UI UX designing. UI is user interface, and UX is user experience. So these people usually work within web designing, app designing, software and development, because what they do is, the way let's think about popular, say Facebook. The way Facebook looks now, or even WhatsApp, let's use WhatsApp, is simpler. The way WhatsApp looks now is not the way it was looking, say, 7 years ago. So a lot has changed. The interface has changed. So interface is about what you're seeing. Then the experience, how easy it is to use, to locate what you want to use, and how versatile it is. So all those things are about, there are skills and knowledge that are applied to it. The combination of colors, fonts, placing of all those items, images, illustrations, and the rest within what is being designed. That is what UI UX does. So they work a lot with the people that do app, website, and software development. I've already talked about web development when I was talking with UI UX, so I think it's covered there already. Now let's talk about the hybrid roles. So I just had to create these roles because these roles can work within a pure health tech company, or not even work with anything tech. So if you have this role, you can use it in a tech company, or you can even use it in a non-tech company that's still within health. For example, NGO that is doing some social development work. So number one there is project management. If you know about project management, I had to get the number two too because they're almost the same. And they are not the same anyway for professionals, but for this explanation, take it as almost the same. So project management, product management, you can apply them within the tech industry. You can apply them outside the tech industry. By tech industry, I mean health tech. So these skills can help you jump up everything. You can apply for jobs here or in the other option. And then you have the digital marketing managers. So when I talk about digital marketing managers, I'm talking about the content creators, the social media managers. I added these people here because to do these things, you need to have some technical skills of shooting videos, recording, editing videos, recording, photography, and the rest. So you need some technical skills there, and beyond the technical skills, you still need some non-tech skills, and you can of course apply them whether to non-tech industry or tech industry, and that's why I added it. So as a recap, here are the alternative careers for doctors in the way I have arranged it. So you have the health industry and other industries. Like I said, other industries, as far as you can go, it is up to your dreams. Within the health industry, you have the non-clinical and clinical. And of course, within the non-clinical, you have the tech, non-tech, and hybrid. In the clinical, we talked about concierge medicine, we talked about telemedicine, occupational health officers, public health physicians, and the rest. Under the tech roles, we talked about statistics, data, UI, UX, web designing, and the rest. Then under non-tech, we talked about management, we talked about teaching, education, research, and under hybrid, I mentioned project management, product management, and digital marketing managers. I really hope this helps you. And just to wrap it all before we get to the end of it proper, you can actually be doing more than one of these. So you can still be in the clinics and start exploring another option before you eventually decide if you're leaving completely. For example, I have done data analysis for up to 5-6 years while still practicing before I eventually took a bow to further my academics and do some other things beyond the clinics. So many of those things are things you can start doing as side hustle before any other thing. Right, now that we are done, I hope you enjoyed all the lists there, and I hope it will at least inspire you on how to go about this thing, forgetting about the worries and what will people say and the rest. I hope you make it with your decision.